My name, as introduced, is Masika Mau, and I'm happy to be here. Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, all protocols observed. I would like to karibisha all our guests from all the way from New York and driving back tonight. So you can imagine the sacrifice that I've made for us to be here. Let me just say something little about why we are here in this town hall meeting. I did this actually late last year when we came together in the Diaspora Council. I actually had some sort of an idea of how we can improve involvement as diaspora in Kenya now that we can vote. And now we know we can vote, as it has been mentioned, and as we all know, we lobbied to vote. We got that in our new constitution, but now that we can, how are we going to do this was my question. Since we are so far from home, and I've said this before, we have been here for 20, 15 years or 10 years. How are we voting? Are we voting for presidential candidates just because they come from our tribe? Are we voting for them just because we remember that name somewhere in KBC radio or something? How are we voting now that we've been so far from home? How do we decide who is the guy to pick? And my argument was, if we don't engage with these presidential candidates, all of them, then we run the risk of voting based, along tribal lines, saying, well, now that I'm voting, I'm looking at the ballot paper, and it looks like the name that is closest to what I am familiar with, maybe based on my tribe, is so and so, and that is the wrong way to do it. So I suggested and called a few people, of course, in our council and around the country, in the various networks that we have here. Why don't we bring the presidential candidates here, invite them here, we engage with them, we ask them questions, we have them tell us their dream and what they're going to do for Kenya. Then after we've heard from all of them, then we can decide who it is we will vote for. Since maybe not everybody reads newspapers, like I read newspapers twice a day at least in Kenya, so I'm at least up to date on what's happening. But not everybody maybe does that. So, so they may not be aware which party who's doing what or who stands for what. That is the idea of saying, let's come together, invite the presidential candidates here, we'll come and listen to them.